Hello, and welcome to weekly one-shot number 27 of Sentinels of the Multiverse, with your host, Lou Dolphin. I'm just gonna get straight into it this week. This one-shot is Cosmic Fixer-Upper. Come on, it'll be fun. Just wait until you see what I found. With a little bit of elbow grease. Okay, a lot of elbow grease. It'll be purring like a kitten. I bet that so-called Cosmic Bounty Hunter won't believe his eyes. Don't worry, I got a flash from my contacts, and there's a ceasefire. Everything should be quiet. We'll be there and back before you know it. So this is Deadline against Captain Cosmic, Mr. Fixer, Omnitron-U, and Unity in Dok'thorath capital, I believe. It is with great regret that I destroy your civilization, humans. It is the only way. Your evil-doing days are numbered, no matter how dangerous you are. Have at them, allies! So I forgot to change those before, but I'm going to set card display back down to the bottom, and I think everything else is fine. Captain Cosmic starts with an autonomous blade, a harsh offense, an unflagging animation, and a vitality conduit, so I'm still slightly unfamiliar with this card, so I'm going to read these. Play this card next to a hero target. The first time the target deals damage each turn, this card deals one target 2 energy damage. Harsh Offense. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Captain Cosmic deals one target X energy damage, where X is the number of construct cards revealed this way times 2. Discard all cards revealed this way. Unflagging Animation. At the end of your turn, Captain Cosmic deals himself 1 irreducible psychic damage. At the start of your turn, you may move 1 construct card from your trash into play. Then you may destroy this card. And Vitality Conduit. Play this card next to a target. Whenever this card is dealt damage, that target regains 2 HP. Sorry, I'm still slightly unfamiliar with this deck to be able to know what the cards are just by reading their names. But Mr. Fixer starts with an alternating Tiger Claw. I believe this one is when he's after a target. No, it's damage dealt by Mr. Fixer's irreducible. Charge, Dual Crowbars, and Hoist Chain. Omnitron-U starts with Ablative Coating, Defensive Blast, Electro Deployment Unit, and Focused Plasma Cannon. And Unity starts with a Brainstorm, 2 Hasty Augmentations, and a Stealth Bot. So if we want to get that Stealth Bot out, we're going to have to destroy one of Omnitron's or Mr. Fixer's equipments. And Deadline, at the start of the game, the Atomic Endglaive is put into play. At the end of the villain turn, if there are 3 or more Catastrophe cards in play, Deadline flips. Otherwise, the top card of the villain deck is played. Catastrophe cards are ongoings, and currently we lack ongoing destruction. I know that Omnitron-U and Unity has ongoing destruction, but we don't have them in our hands right now. So what will happen? Atomic Endglaive. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals the hero target with the highest HP 3 energy damage. And then the villain deck is shuffled, and we get the Ataxia Sphere. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals the hero target with the lowest HP 2 infernal damage. If a hero character card is dealt damage this way, that hero's character must either discard 1 card or shuffle their trash into their deck. So that's going to hit Omnitron-U. We get the Magnetic Pole Shift. So at the end of the villain turn, there were not 3 or more catastrophes, so he's playing the top card of the villain deck, which is a catastrophe. At the start of each villain turn, discard the top 2 cards of each non-villain deck and destroy 2 hero ongoing and/or equipment cards. So that's exciting. So the Atomic Endglaive hits Mr. Fixer. Ataxia Sphere hit Omnitron-U, who now must decide to discard 1 card or shuffle his trash into his deck. Since this was a fixed start, his initial deck, is composed in a fixed way. With no idea what that is, however, I might be more willing to just shuffle it. So yeah, we'll just shuffle it. That key decision is going to change this game entirely. So typically, a way you fight Deadline is to kill Deadline and ignore everything else. Ataxia Sphere, however, is always going against the hero with the lowest HP, but it has 10 HP, which is quite a lot, so it'll be quite difficult to take it out. The Autonomous Blade is a source of damage. Oh, never mind. The Ataxia is going to go after bots and constructs. So if I play the Autonomous Blade, the Ataxia is going after it. If I play the Vitality Conduit, this will, you know, guarantee whoever this card is next to will regain HP. Harsh Offense will do damage, but it won't put constructs in play. And I feel like it's probably too early to think about HP, so I should probably put the Autonomous Blade out. And the only person who's guaranteed to deal damage is Mr. Fixer. Because Omnitron-U can only do that if he plays components. However, with the Magnetic Pole Shift out, it's going to be rather difficult to keep equipments and ongoings out. Especially since we still lack ongoing destruction. Yeah, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Because it seems like there are going to be 2 equipments and ongoings destroyed. And I can play 3. So do I want to play 3 just so I can profit 1? Or do I not play any so I don't lose any? I don't know. I don't really like the fact that we know 2 are being destroyed. I could play Unflagging Animation as fodder, but then I'll take 1 damage. And Unity doesn't have an ongoing or equipment. I mean, the alternative is that Omnitron-U plays 2 of them, and then with his power, he'll be able to deal 2 fire damage twice. But I like his equipment. Because, like, Mr. Fixer, you know, works really well when you can get him going. So who deals the damage here? This card deals the damage, this card deals the damage, and not Deadline. And Deadline, when he flips, he deals irreducible damage. I don't know. I said before I started this, that I was going to try to play this game faster than last week's, and I'm already in analysis paralysis. So, let's see. Well, I think if I want to deal damage, then I should do Autonomous Blade. So we'll do that on Mr. Fixer. And then reveal the top card of my deck. It is a Wounding Buffer. The first time that hero character card is dealt damage by a target each turn, this card deals the source of that damage 2 energy damage. So whoever is the highest HP is going to be the target of Atomic Endglaive, currently. So putting this next to Captain Cosmic himself seems like the best play. And we draw a Construct Cataclysm. Destroy all Construct cards. Captain Cosmic either deals 1 target X irreducible energy damage, or up to X targets 3 energy damage each, where X is the number of Construct cards destroyed this way. Alright, so I feel like the best plan is probably to utilize Omnitron-U's power. So I'm going to want to put out 2 of his equipments. Since it doesn't seem like Deadline is going to be dealing melee, projectile, or toxic, I could put the plating out as well as... I really like the Electro Deployment Unit, but I mean, like, it's easy for Omnitron-U to get equipment back because his power says move 1 equipment card from your trash to your hand. So we'll probably be putting, I don't know, the Electrical Deployment Unit out. That way I could play Focused Plasma Cannon next round. Alternatively, I could put Focused Plasma Cannon out, have it destroyed, play the Electrical Deployment Unit next round, put the Focused Plasma Cannon back into my hand, and the next round, if this Electro Deployment Unit is still out, I could use it to play the Focused Plasma Cannon, which will act immediately. So maybe I'll do that. Either way, we'll be putting 2 of Omnitron-U's out, so Mr. Fixer's fine. And Dual Crowbars is good for, you know, increasing damage. Hoist Chain is good for reducing damage, but there isn't really a good single target I would want to hit Hoist Chain with. Does this deal damage? Like, if that damage... Okay, yeah. So I could, like, you know, potentially reduce the Ataxia Sphere's damage to 0, but... That's going to be rather hard. So I think dual crowbars is the best. And if I really want to wail on Deadline, I think we'll hit the Ataxia Sphere because that hits the lowest and forces a discard or a trash shuffle. Autonomous Blade allows us to hit another target for 2, so we'll hit Deadline just to wail on him, and then we'll hit Deadline again. And then we draw a Grease Monkey Fist, so that also increases damage. So I think it doesn't matter the order here, but we'll put out Ablative Coating. We will use, what is this power called? Volatile Wiring. So whenever one of his cards is destroyed, he deals a target 2 fire damage. 2 fire damage. And we'll play the Focused Plasma Cannon. And we draw a Bioengineering Beam. And now Unity. We don't want to destroy these equipments because I want to be able to keep dual crowbars for one more round. Unless he plays another magnetic pole shift, which he has 2 more in his deck. But for now, I think I'm going to Brainstorm. We get a Platform Bot, and we get a Modular Workbench. I guess Hasty Augmentation with dual crowbars is great, but I really want to get more Unity cards. And we did. And I can hit up to 3 targets, 1 lightning damage each, so that I can hit all of those villain cards. And I do not want to use my power. And we draw a Construction Pylon. Perfect. So now I can get those 2 mechanical golems in play without hitting anyone else. We can draw Abject Refugees. At the start of the environment turn, each player may draw a card. Whenever this card would be dealt damage, a player may discard 1 card to redirect that damage to a hero target. This is one of the nicer Dok'thorath capital cards. Alright, so we're discarding the top 2 cards of each non-villain deck, so we're losing whatever these 2 cards are. But we can check what they are. But we will destroy Omnitron-U's cards, and we'll use them to hit Deadline. We get another Catastrophe. At the start of the villain turn, Deadline deals each non-villain target 1 irreducible melee and 1 irreducible fire damage. So a lot of Deadline's damage is irreducible, so Platings for Omnitron-U isn't too good. And now at the end of the villain turn, there are only 2 Catastrophes, so he's playing the top card of the villain deck, which is another Catastrophe. At the start of the villain turn, 2 players must put 1 card from hand on top of their deck. Then, Deadline deals the 2 non-villain targets with the highest HP 1 cold damage each. That one's not irreducible. So, yep, that action. So that hit Captain Cosmic, who then the construct retaliated and hit the Atomic Endglaive. Which target is considered to have the lowest HP? Whoever we select is then going to be destroyed the next round. Because these catastrophes will act, Deadline will play a card, and at the end of his turn he flips, destroys the catastrophes, and then deals damage and removes environment cards. So, let's see. But whichever one is destroyed here is going to be destroyed by the Subduction Super Zone. So which one is going to be lost? I think the Wounding Buffer, because that one... I mean, it only acts the first time that character card is dealt damage each turn. And, I mean, Captain Cosmic will be hit by the Subduction Super Zone, but I think Mr. Fixer is, you know, more guaranteed to be dealt damage overall, so we'll hit the Wounding Buffer. And now we're back to Captain Cosmic, round 2. So, and the Abject Refugees is going to be gone the next round unless we redirect it to a hero target. So we have the Construct Cataclysm, which we can use to destroy 2 of our ongoings, which seems a bit unfair. And of course the Magnetic Pole Shift is going to destroy another set of 2 hero ongoing cards, just so we remind ourselves of that. Yeah, so since we're going to lose another set of 2... I guess we can lose the Defensive Blast, because we're probably not going to have Platings being in play. I would like to keep the Electro Deployment Unit if I could. And obviously I would like to use the construction pylon to put those 2 mechanical golems into play. But then again, it's probably not a good idea to put them into play, because the next round of damage is going to do a bunch of irreducible. Like, Deadline is going to flip, and he's going to do at least 3 irreducible fire damage, so that's going to destroy both of those bots. They're very good at staying alive, as long as the damage is not irreducible, so I could just play Modular Workbench and not use it. I don't usually use Modular Workbench, although it's a good card to use if you get a lot of Unity cards. So if I play Modular Workbench, I can have that destroyed. I could play Defensive Blast and have that destroyed. I would like to play Electro Deployment Unit and keep it. I would like to play Grease Monkey Fist and keep it. That's going to make Mr. Fixer do a lot of damage. And the Unflagging Animation is going to make myself hit myself for 1 for no effect, other than we keep... or we have to destroy this card. So... I mean, like, if I'm going... Oh, and I should check what cards were discarded. We have a Technological Advancement in the trash. That's not a good one. Reset is in the trash. That's not wholly good. Why are those cards not on the top of my trash? I thought the top of my trash should be the most recent discard, but... Unless I misunderstand how the trash works. There was something that said put cards... Oh, wait. No, I'm still confused as to what that was. Something made me move cards from the top of my deck to my trash, and I do not remember what it was. Ah, discard the top 2 cards of each non-villain deck. For some reason... Maybe I just misunderstand how the trash works. I thought the top of the trash was the most recent discard, but maybe not, because we... Actually, I don't remember the order that we discarded those. But what about Unity? Unity's Brainstorm, Platform Bot Brainstorm. Okay. I don't know. There's a salvage yard. I would have liked Mr. Fixer to have that salvage yard. That's really good with getting equipments back into your hand. I mean, so anyway, what I was originally saying was I would like to be able to play the focused plasma cannon with Electro Deployment Unit, which requires me to draw it with Omnitron-U's power. Then again, it's likely that he's going to be dealt too much damage, because this catastrophe is going to do 1-on-1. He's not going to be the highest, so he'll be the lowest. So he'll be not dealt that damage, but then Deadline will flip, and then he'll do 3. Yeah, so the Electro Deployment Units is not going to stay. So probably Defensive Blast and Electro Deployment Unit, and then I can destroy the Electro Deployment Unit for the damage. Defensive Blast is not... Oh, it is one of your cards that would be destroyed. Yeah, so that's fine. So we could, again, destroy both of Omnitron-U's cards to deal more damage. So I could Construction Pylon... No, I don't want a Construction Pylon, just kidding. I could Hasty Augment. Because there's no point in keeping the component, because it's just going to get destroyed. Alternatively, I could put out the Modular Workbench still. Sorry, I'm being indecisive. Modular Workbench could be destroyed for free. Unless I want Mr. Fixer to deal more damage. Especially with the Hasty Augment. I think actually I'm going to do that. Since I know Omnitron-U is going to just play 2 cards to be destroyed. So, Grease Monkey Fist on Mr. Fixer. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Constructs are likely to get destroyed in the next round. In fact, they will be destroyed. We still lack ongoing destruction. So, I could just destroy all Construct cards right now. There are 2. I can deal up to 2 targets, 3 energy damage each. That would be more than the Wounding Buffer and the Autonomous Blade will do. Harsh Offense will deal damage based on the top 3 cards of my deck. I don't want to unflag, and I don't want to Vitality Conduit. So yeah, I think we will just, since they're going to be gone anyway, we'll destroy them. Just to do more damage. So, Deals to 2 targets 3 energy each. We'll hit Deadline, and then we'll again hit the Ataxia Sphere. Reveal the top card of my deck. It's a Cosmic Weapon. Play this card next to a hero character card. That hero gains the following power. Power, this hero deals 1 target 3 energy damage. It's going to get destroyed immediately. But I could put it next to Unity so that she can do something on turn, well, on this turn when she's not putting bots into play. It's another source of 3 damage. And we draw a Wounding Buffer, another one. Mr. Fixer's now going to Grease Monkey Fist to increase his damage by another 1. We'll use Strike. So I would hit the Ataxia Sphere, but if I'm going to Hasty Augment is going to do another increase by 2. So the first hit of Dual Crowbars will be 5, and the next hit will be 9. So if I hit the Atomic Endglaive, it will be at least lower. It'll be at the same HP as the Ataxia Sphere. But I can one-shot the Ataxia Sphere with the next strike. Or with the strike on Unity's turn. I won't be able to outright kill both of these, even if Unity hits one of them. But I think the Atomic Endglaive, if it's going to be the one to save, it'll be that one, because it's only 1 HP. So we'll make it cold for funsies. And then we'll hit Deadline, just to keep changing it to energy. And we draw a Harmony. Oh, more damage increase. Fun. So, Defensive Blast, and then Volatile Wiring, play Electro Deployment Unit, and we draw a Focused Plasma Cannon. Cool. If only we could keep the Electro Deployment Unit. So, Hasty Augment on Mr. Fixer. Mr. Fixer now takes out the Ataxia Sphere in 1 strike. I'll make that fire. And then we'll hit Deadline for 9 with Infernal. I'm just cycling through. Oh, that didn't get increased by 2. I guess because that wasn't the power. But that's fine. Still 7 damage. And now I can deal 1 target 3 energy damage, which will be Deadline. And we draw B-Bot, which is now ongoing in Environment Destruction. Abject Refugees has all of us draw cards. So Mr. Fixer draws a Sustained Influence. It's an ongoing that doesn't hit him, but whenever a construct is destroyed, I could destroy the card to put that construct back into play. Meditation, which is good for getting a certain style. Rocket Punch, which is source of damage that, well, it's not volatile wiring, so it's sort of not as good. And Flash Forge, which is good for getting whatever I want into my hand, sort of. And then Freedom Fighters is played, so at the end of the environment turn, this card deals each non-civilian target 2 lightning damage, so this is going to hit, of course, everyone. And the order doesn't matter. So now we're going to discard the top 2 cards of each of our decks and destroy 2 hero ongoing cards. So choose for me, and then destroy the first card. So Defensive Blast, and I mean, I could take out the Atomic Endglaive, and that's fewer damage. I mean, it's only slight, but I mean, it's right there. I can kill it right now, so I sort of feel tempted to, so I won't, because Mr. Fixer wants to hit him. Just kidding. And then we'll destroy the Electro Deployment Unit since it's going to get destroyed anyway. And again, we'll hit Deadline. This hits each non-villain target for 1 irreducible melee and 1 irreducible fire. We are not going to redirect the Abject Refugees damage because Deadline's going to destroy it and shuffle it into his deck anyway. So all environment cards are destroyed and the environment trash is shuffled to the environment deck. So yeah. I forgot to check who is Deadline's nemesis, but he's not in the game, so If he were in the game, there would be a Nemesis icon displayed on screen. Not redirecting. Not redirecting. And 2 players must put the top 1 card from hand on top of their deck. So if it's Captain Cosmic, we can actually put it into play using his power. So let's see. I think I want to get Sustained Influence out. Especially since the catastrophes will be gone, ongoings will be more easily kept in play. So Sustained Influence is one of them. I mean, I could put a construct on top of my deck just to Harsh Offense it, to increase the damage that Harsh Offense will do, but yeah. I generally like having constructs because they do things, even though they're a bit weak in HP. Can move a construct from my trash into play at the start of my turn, and then I may destroy the card. I would like to get the Dynamic Siphon back. In the wounding buffer, the first time that hero character card is dealt damage by a target, each turn this card deals the source of the damage 2 energy damage. I sort of feel like I want to get Unflagging Animation and Sustained Influence out. They're not constructs, but they get me cards from my trash back into play, and they keep constructs from getting destroyed sometimes. So maybe I want to have Cosmic do that. So yeah, Cosmic, whoops. Cosmic put... or past the things that discarded the top 2 cards of our deck, right? It was the Magnetic Pole Shift. So yeah, so Unleashed Hurricane is now acting. So I'll put the Sustained Influence on top. And Unity has a lot of cards, but I mean, Mr. Fixer is basically set up with Harmony. He's going to play Harmony. So I could just put Charge on top. I mean, it could be anything else. It could be the style, because I could meditate to get it back anyway. Omnitron-U is hurting for cards. And Unity would like to have more cards. I mean, Unity always likes having more cards. But I think we'll have Mr. Fixer put a card, since he's basically set up. So we'll just put the style on top, because I want to hold on to the charge just in case it gets discarded. And these are dealt damage. Another catastrophe enters play, so it doesn't matter what it was, because it's going to get destroyed immediately. And the order sort of doesn't matter. It could matter, I guess, but he's dealing 4 irreducible fire. Which is why I destroyed Omnitron's Electro Deployment Unit. 4 cards were taken out of the game. They were the Defiant Looters, the Genebound Ravagers, the Rebel Headquarters, and the Thorathian Military. Rebel Headquarters is... we're not going to be able to read it, but it is a good card because it prevents civilians from hurting us. Sadly. I don't know what the other cards are. Defiant Looters, I think, is something that puts equipments back into play. Or no, it discards the top card of each deck. If that card is an equipment, it gets put into play instead. So that's a bit sad. And I don't know about the Genebound Ravagers or the Thorathian Military. But I'm going to unflag Animatingly, and then I'm going to put the top card of my deck, which is a Sustained Influence, into play. And I draw an Augmented Ally. At the start of that hero's turn, their player may discard a card. If they do, they may use a power immediately. And that hits... I get hit for 1, but then I could put a construct from hand into play. We will now harmonize. And this is why I kept the Atomic Enclave in play, so now I can hit him. Let's do lightning now. That's for 4. And now I can hit Deadline for 7. We'll make it melee. Just in order. We're already more than halfway there. And the Alternating Tiger Claw. Damage dealt by Mr. Fixer is irreducible. Yeah, I already know that. I don't know why I read that. Okay, so Deadline. Yeah, so we lose... so I didn't read this out, but at the start of the villain turn, if there are no catastrophe cards in play, Deadline flips. So he's going to flip immediately, because there are no catastrophe cards in play. But at the end of the villain turn, all environment cards are destroyed and the environment trash is shuffled into the environment deck. Then, all catastrophe cards are destroyed and Deadline deals each non-villain target X irreducible fire damage and removes the top X cards of the environment deck from the game, where X is the number of catastrophe cards destroyed this turn. And then, if there are no cards in the environment deck, the heroes lose, game over. So the reason that he's called Deadline is because as this game proceeds, he could remove all of the cards from the environment deck, at which point the heroes lose, because there are no cards in the environment deck. But he only does this one round, because he flips if there is a if there are 3 or more catastrophes in play at the end of his turn. But when he flips, he destroys all of them, and then at the start of the villain turn, if there are no in play, he flips. So he's going to flip immediately unless the environment somehow gets him to play a catastrophe, which is not going to happen. So I think, so now it seems like we're in a pretty tame situation. He's not doing anything out of his own fruition. So components are a bit more likely to stay. The bioengineering beam is going to do 2 energy damage, but destroy an environment card. It's at least free environment destruction, but I would like to keep the card in case I do want to destroy it on my own. Rocket Punch will do 2 and then 1, which is more damage than the Bioengineering Beam will do, but the Focused Plasma Cannon is auto damage. So I think I'm going to play the Focused Plasma Cannon. We'll Volatile Wiring. And now, since, I mean, both of those are powers, so they're not going to act. I'm going to move 1 equipment from my trash into my hand, so I'm going to get the Electro Deployment Unit, since I like that one. And we get a technological advancement, which is really good for getting any component or plating from our deck into play. But it does shuffle our deck. And now, again, since we're in a more stable position, I can Construction Pylon. And now I can put 2 of my bots into play. We'll put Platform Bot and Stealth Bot, not B-Bot, because there isn't anything we want to have destroyed right now. I guess I could have it and then Mr. Fixer could target it the next round if something bad happens. But I mean, if something hits all of us and there isn't really anything I want to destroy, it's sort of a waste. I mean, I do have Stealth Bot though, but whatever. And then the Freedom Fighters, at the end of the environment turn, this card deals each non-civilian target 2 lightning damage. So I could have used B-Bot to destroy this, but it doesn't matter. We'll hit Deadline with this, and Platform Bot has damage reduction, so I'm not going to redirect it to Stealth Bot. And Stealth Bot is going to end up taking this at some point anyway, and I could redirect it from anyone that I would want to have it be redirected from. I mean, 2 lightning damage is a lot. Don't get me wrong. I think we'll redirect Captain Cosmix since he already took 1 from unflagging animation. I think we'll redirect the Unities. And then I think these other 2 people can take it. So Deadline flips back, and then he plays another magnetic pole shift, of course. So it only acts at the start of the villain turn, so another 2 hero ongoings or equipments are going to be destroyed. And we also have the calculated orogenesis. At the start of the villain turn, play the top card of the environment deck. Then that environment card deals each non-villain target 2 melee damage. So another set of 2 ongoings, but we can put something into play. So Dynamic Siphon on Mr. Fixer is gorgeous. Do I want to destroy this? Let's say no. No for now. So Augmented Ally. At the start of that hero's turn, that player may discard a card to use a power immediately. So Augmented Ally on Mr. Fixer isn't good because he only ever has 1 power, unless I give him a construct that gives him an additional power, but we don't have that. It's in our trash right now. I could put it into play the next round, but if I do that, then I would want to play Augmented Ally that round. Harsh Offense. Whenever this card is dealt damage, that target regains 2 HP. And the first time that hero character card is dealt damage by a target, each turn this card deals a source of that damage to energy. I'm not really thinking anything right now, in case you wonder why I'm being silent. I'm just staring at cards. So, do I want... This is only 2 energy damage, and it's being dealt by this card, so it's not as good as normal. Or not, as Mr. Fixer. I'm thinking about putting out Mr. Fixer, but it only does 2 damage, and Mr. Fixer is now a damage powerhouse. Mr. Fixer can one-shot the Freedom Fighters, so I'm not worried about the Freedom Fighters. But if I want to destroy the Magnetic Pole Shift, then... I would like to be able to put a B-Bot into play. And then have it be destroyed. I guess Platform Bot could hit it. But if I'm going to do that, I can't play... Well, I could play Hasty Augment. And I could again destroy one of Omnitron's things. Oh yeah, with Charge. Oh, I can't really play Charge. Like, I would like to play Charge and then have its damage be increased. But then I can't really utilize dual crowbars to its full capacity. We unfortunately destroyed all of the villain targets, so yeah, there's only the Freedom Fighters, and that's going to be hit for 4 with Strike or 5 with Charge. Unless I hit the Construct, which is going to get one-shotted. I mean, on the other hand, there is a lot of damage that's possible here. So with... Okay, let's do the math here. There's 34 HP, so this could be a bit crazy, but with Charge, this is 2, plus 3 is 5, and then Dual Crowbars lets me hit someone else for 5, plus 3 is 8. So we can do 8 to Deadline and take out the Freedom Fighters. I could then... Whenever this card is dealt damage, that hero may use a power. That doesn't work well with Hasty Augment, but if I use Strike now, that's going to be 4 and 7. So wherever that 4 hits, that's another 7. So 8 and 7 is 15. So that puts Deadline down to what, 19? Sorry, I already forgot what the numbers were. 8 and 7, right? So 15 and 34 minus 15 is 19. So then, whatever Cosmic does, I don't know what he'll be doing just yet. Oh, and I can Sustained Influence to keep that construct in play. So that's cool. So he's down to 19. Focus Plasma Cannon is another 2. So it's 17. I was going to play the Electrical Deployment Unit, but if I want to win this round... Rocket Punch would do more damage right now. That's 2 and 1. So that'll be 3. Whenever one of your cards is destroyed, Omnitron-U deals 1 target 2 fire damage. So I could actually put the Electrical Deployment Unit out, and then have Omnitron-U be hit by Mr. Fixer with the Hasty Augmentation, and that will do 5 or more damage. So both of these will be destroyed. So that'd be 2 and 2. That's slightly more damage than 2 and 1. I don't know that it's really worth doing that though, but let's see. So anyway, after Mr. Fixer's down, he's down to 19. So if I Focus Plasma Cannon, puts him down to 17, and then put out the Electrical Deployment Unit, and then play the Technological Advancement for another card play, or for another thing that could be destroyed. So there'll be 3 components in play, and Deadline's down to 17. We then do Hasty Augmentation on Mr. Fixer. Mr. Fixer then does 1, 2, 3, 4, or sorry, 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 2 is 6, to Omnitron-U. That destroys Omnitron-U's 3 components, so he does 2, 2, and 2. Deadline was down to 17, so that's 11. And then the redirect, yeah, so, okay. Perfect. We're gonna win this round. Because of Mr. Fixer. So this isn't going to do anything. I mean, I could use it to put a bot into play, but none of those bots are useful. So, Vitality Conduit. Whenever this card is dealt damage, that target regains 2 HP. It doesn't really matter which these do. Since nothing non-heroes... Yeah, so I guess Harsh Offense is probably the best bet, because none of these are going to do useful things for me. So Harsh Offense, we revealed 3. Oh, perfect. So now that will do 6 energy. So if you were ever doubtful we're going to win this round, revealed Vitality Conduit. Whenever this card is dealt damage, the target regains 2 HP. I guess we'll put it out there just to be cool. I'll put it on Omnitron-U. And we draw an Energy Bracer. Do I need to take this damage? No, I don't have to, but it doesn't matter. I'll hit it. It's irreducible, so it would hit Stealth Bot. And now we'll charge. So, oh yeah. So this is going to hit something. So, yeah, Freedom Fighters doesn't really matter. So we were at melee last time, so this will be Projectile. That's 5. Destroys Freedom Fighters, and then we can hit Deadline with the rest for Psychic. And then our power... we want to hit Deadline last. I don't want to hit Omnitron-U just yet. I could hit anything else, including Captain Cosmic, because he's done. I don't want to hit Stealth Bot, though. I don't want to hit Platform Bot, I don't want to hit Stealth Bot. I would like to keep the Dynamic Siphon and the Vitality Conduit, I guess. Even though that's going to do more damage overall, so I guess... Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter because the round's going to be over anyway, so we'll just hit the Dynamic Siphon for Radiant, not redirect it. Dynamic Siphon is gone. I do not want to destroy Sustained Influence. No, I will destroy Sustained Influence. We'll put it back into play. Next to Mr. Fixer. Take that. And then we'll hit Deadline for Sonic. And we draw a Tire Iron. So we'll hit Deadline. We'll play the Electro Deployment Unit. We will Volatile Wiring. And then we will play the Technological Advancement to play a component like the Electro Deployment Unit. And we draw an Elemental Exo-Chassis and an Innervation Ray. Now we'll Hasty Augment Mr. Fixer. This will hit Omnitron-U. So let's... I mean, it doesn't matter because the second round of damage is going to kill. But we'll make it Toxic, not redirect it. That is 6, which is more than 5, so... Focus Plasma Cannon is destroyed. Omnitron-U deals 1 target 2 fire. Electro Deployment Unit is destroyed. Omnitron-U deals 1 target 2 fire. Electro Deployment Unit is destroyed. Deadline is dealt 2 fire. And then the second part of the damage is then what kills, and we'll make it exciting. We'll make it infernal. There we go. There's our mint. So, again, fun shenanigans. Mr. Fixer is a powerhouse of damage. Like, I mean, the cards that I played, the Dual Crowbars, the Grease Monkey Fist, and Harmony, is how you increase his damage the most. Because that's, instead of Dual Crowbars doing 2 and 3, it instead does 4 and 7. Well, the 7 is contingent on that actually being 4. But increasing his damage by 3 is the most he can do out of his, on his own. And then Hasty Augment increases it by another 2. Well, the first round by 2. 6 and then 9 is what Dual Crowbars then does. And then we utilize Volatile Wiring a lot in that game. In fact, I want to say all 4 of those heroes were quite useful. Like, you can't really replace one of these heroes with a random one and then expect to have a similar sort of game. Because Unity's Hasty Augments were quite useful. I wouldn't say her bots were that useful, but hasty augmentation was super useful. And then Captain Cosmic's constructs were at least somewhat useful. I mean, we didn't really get to utilize Dynamic Siphon. I suppose there was a way we could have gotten a Dynamic Siphon if we had played a little bit differently, but all 4 of these heroes were useful. Alright, so I'm going to end it right here. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a follow, or subscribe, I guess is what it's called on YouTube. I do this every week, usually Monday evening or Tuesday morning or some part of the week because they're weekly. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.